Hi, this is your favorite mysterious, edgy celebrity, Lana Del Rey. In between listening to Kurt Cobain and Britney Spears, picking out Instagram filters, and tasting myself to verify that I taste like Pepsi Cola, I love listening to Please Send Dick Pics. It's my favorite podcast. And today you have a special guest, Kristen Van Nest. Enjoy!
Walterscheid, and I have a special guest co-host today. Her name is Kristen Van Nest.
Woo!
She's on there. She's on with us right now. And you're listening to Please
Send Dick Pics.
Yeah, send dick pics. So I'm back from like a month hiatus because I was trying to like restructure the podcast because my creative brain wanted to have like a different structure of the podcast and how it went, but so that's why I was gone so long. If anyone's wondering, if anyone's listening and wondering, so Kristen's on with us, and she is in comedy, improviser, comedian, and a little background about her. And Kristen, let me know if I'm wrong about anything. You lived in Shanghai, China. You've traveled to 40 different countries. You speak Mandarin and French. You like bringing your own experiences with emotions and real life situations into your characters, and you're obsessed with death like me. And
yeah,
and are you vegan? I'm vegan. I'm just wondering.
I'm not vegan. I love meat.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I like guys, but that's as far as I go. If I was a zombie man, I would not be vegan. So I wanted to ask you about, it said you lived in Shanghai, I think for about 3.5 years. Is that right?
Yeah.
I read, this is the 405 interview. I read on the 405.com, I think it is. And I think they spell it out. They spell it the sounds of 405 for the website. But what city were you born in?
I was born in Columbus, Ohio, and then at 7, I moved to Connecticut, and I grew up in New Canaan, Connecticut.
Oh, wow. I've been to Columbus, and that is a pretty place. Do you remember a lot about it, or you probably remember Connecticut more?
Yeah, I went to Columbus School for Girls, and we all wore uniforms, and we had little shorts underneath, and so for gym we just took off the little dresses and then had like little shorts that we'd wear, and it was fun.
And that was in Columbus, you said?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I went there. I went to like Dayton, and I love, the only thing I remember about Dayton, which is nearby, I went to like both, but I remember Dayton because that's where I was on my dad's business trip visiting him, you know? And I like the No More Road sign. That was, I don't know if you've been to Dayton. That's not even Columbus, I know.
Yeah, I haven't been there.
But they have a road called No More Road, and I'm like, well, why are we driving on it?
Solid question.
Yeah.
Deeper. You got to think really deep when you're on those long drives through Ohio.
Overanalyze. I love overanalyzing. No, sometimes I don't. So, like, do you have a favorite childhood memory anywhere?
I don't know. That's so hard. one time I went to this river with my school in Ohio and I wanted a pet snail and I had rain boots. And so I filled my boots with the water from the river and then I put snails in my boots. And then I got home, like, it was like an hour and a half bus ride back from the stream. And then I got home and was like, Mom, I have pet snails. And then we put them in a fish tank and they were my pets.
They survived?
Yeah.
Oh wow! How they go like really big and like eat the fish tank?
Yeah, they were like when I first had them in my boots, they were tiny, maybe like the size of like a pinky fingernail, and then by the end they were about the size of a thumb. So.
Oh my God! What do you feed snails? Like they eat algae or?
Yeah, I think so. I think we had goldfish in there, and then the goldfish poo, and then the snails clean the tank.
Because I'm eating a salad, by the way. So they, and I'm at a friend's house, so like her dog's barking in the background. So they eat poop, like they clean the tank.
Yeah.
Like, duh.
Very useful.
Did they have babies? Because their babies are so small and they're so cute if they have babies.
I don't think my snails ever had babies. I don't know how that works.
They were just gay. Okay. So they're
maybe, yeah. My pair of gay snails that I stole from a river on a field trip in Columbus, Ohio.
I'd be so proud, though. I thought I had gay dogs because they'd hump each other when they're on their periods. And they got fixed. But, like, I was hoping they were gay. Like, they might be. Like, I still think they might be. So, I'm just, like, so proud of anything that's, like, living. Any it or they that's, like, living their... who they are. Like, I love that. So yeah, whatever it is. Let's see what else. Do you have like a really strange childhood memory that was like, well, creepy or like just fantastically creepy, like to where you're just like, wow, this shaped the rest of my life and like what a comedy and like what I like now. And
this is like a really dark story, but
okay. I'm all for it.
A pedophile saved my life.
Oh, cool.
So I it wasn't my main pediatrician, but one time I had this terrible stomach virus and I think I was about 10 years old. And so I had to go to the doctor and, I just was like throwing up nonstop, couldn't keep anything down. So I went to this doctor and he told me that I had to go to the hospital. And he was the one that made that decision and kind of like saved my life because I had such a bad virus that I needed to go on an IV and stuff. And it was a whole thing and a rumor spread at school that I had died. Anyway.
Oh, how fun.
Yeah, it was so fun because my grandma asked them to pray for me in church. And then someone from school thought that I had died. So, I'm here, guys.
You're like, I'm on this podcast to say I'm here.
Yeah. But then like a couple years later, my mom came, like I was in my room and my mom was sat on my bed and was like, I need to talk to you about something. And I was like, am I in trouble? She was like, no, but sit down. And I was like, okay.
You're going to fall over when I tell you.
We'd received this letter that pediatrician, he had tried to touch a boy in Greenwich and a town near me. And they had found child pornography on his computer.
It's like a weird Donnie Darko situation, actually.
Yeah. It's like,
but he's a doctor.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like really dark that like he saved my life, but he also was terrible and like, I mean, tried to like
damage
abuse a child. Yeah. So it's just like one of those like weird moral things where you're like, okay, this world is dark.
I did cosplay with a murderer that I didn't know murdered someone 20 years ago. He's in prison now, but I was in this cosplay group that I got asked to be in because they needed another person to play like characters, like.
Oh, wow.
Fill in. Yeah. And he was, he had a daughter and he's on these, the true, like, Crime Daily YouTube channel. He's on that channel. There's a story about him there. But yeah.
Did he kill someone before or after you met him?
Oh, definitely before. Yeah, 20 years ago. They didn't have DNA testing at a certain point, so they just kind of let him go, and he was free. He at least killed 2 or 3 people. And he's on Crime Daily. And I just looked it up because I'm into the murder stuff. Like, I'm into just learning about, like, what makes people do these things. Like, I don't think there's really a right or wrong. It's just like how you deal with things. And it's like, well, society puts you in prison. I'm not saying to kill people, but people who kill thinks that's like the right answer, you know, like in their moral mind, that was like the right thing to do, but and how to deal with what they experienced in their past or something. But yeah, I looked up the Crime Daily thing and just randomly said like, oh, maybe he's on here, you know? And then I finally saw the faces of the people like he affected, or like the people he killed, the girlfriend he had, the white, whoever he had like a relationship at some point, and he was mean to her and like he had threatened her, and he'd keep after he killed someone, he'd keep their bike or whatever he could keep, you know, he'd keep it in a garage, whatever.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
And I kind of was crying through it. I'm like, oh my God, this is like, you know, weird seeing the people affected by it.
Yeah, it's like really real to know. Like you hear those stories. I love murder shows as well. Like you hear the stories, but they're distant because you haven't experienced them. And then to have someone that you know and see what they've done, that like brings a deeper level of empathy.
Yeah.
And it's just terrifying.
As an actor, or as like a comedian actor, I love that. You know, like just feeling that. It's so great to feel something like that. Or to like learn about different perspectives as to why they did it, you know?
Yeah.
I think he had issues with his mom or something, and he's kind of taken out on girls. Like that's a rumor. I don't know for sure. Yeah, I just love that stuff. There's some really good things to watch online. I was reading in the article, sorry, I'm choking on arugula, so,
don't die.
But this arugula is a murderer. I don't know what's going on. So, what's your favorite, like, that article mentioned some things. I'm into, like, a lot of old movies and stuff, or, like, foreign stuff, you know, foreign films, but there was some sort of murdery things, or maybe, like, mystery shows that you like to watch at the time of that interview.
I speak French fluently, so I watch a ton of, like, French crime shows.
Oh, that's so cool.
And they have like a very dark and kind of like slower way that the French approach their crime shows, that I love. Like it's very dark and morbid and a little bit maybe slower, while like American crime shows are like, everyone's beautiful. Like even the dead body has perfect makeup, you know?
Like the reenactments and stuff, like those kind of things, or...
They what?
Is it like the reenactments, like we kind of make it look perfect, or?
I'm talking about like not real life stuff, but like Law and Order kind of shows.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of French ones, and then I love a Swedish comedy one, Fallet, Fallet, which is on Netflix, and it's about 25% in British English and 75% in Swedish, and it's about a British detective who goes over to solve a crime in Sweden, and it's just really funny. The Swedes are very, very good with physical comedy, as well as they have like a very dark comedy, and I think it comes from kind of just their society. And
they're always in the dark, right? Certain times of the year, they're always in the dark, like because of the seasons.
Yeah, and they have a very direct way. I have some Swedish friends. They have like a very direct way of speaking to each other, which is very funny in a way that like Americans would feel extremely uncomfortable if someone asked you a question that directly.
Oh,
so it's kind of fun to watch.
That's amazing. Yeah, I was going to ask you if you can compare. So you just basically compared. Can you compare the American crime stuff to the French one? Like, can you give an example? Because you just said like Law and Order, like, you know, probably more sensationalistic, I guess, or pretty. And
yeah, I'm trying to think of this French one I loved. I'm blanking on the name. It's not The Strangers. Maybe it's The Foreigners. I can't remember the English. But it's this female detective, and she's solving a crime, and they're like, it's like very, like through it, she's like following this wolf, and it's like this visual. Oh, okay, wait, no, I know a great French one. La Monte, which is the praying mantis.
Oh, cool.
And the praying mantis is like, you know, praying mantises in the wild, the female will bite off the head of the male.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, solid after sex, of course, get what she needs, kill her mate. So La Monte is a French crime show in which the serial killer is a woman, and she was caught, and she would kill men who were treating women badly.
Oh, wow.
And so she was caught, and then the show is she has a copycat, so she's in solitary confinement, and she agrees to help them find the copycat only if she can work directly with her son, who's a police officer.
And this is just a show, right? This is just like a plot, or is this a real life thing?
It's not real. Yeah, it's just a plot. But it's very psychological and very. They use a lot of more metaphor, I think, than we do, and there's a lot of French. I feel like the philosophe, and there's very much the interactions between people and the psychology of it, but the lighting is much darker, and usually French films, they look more real, in the US it's who's the hottest actor, okay, they're gonna solve the crime, you know what I mean? But French films you can see and it kind of dark and real, which I really like.
That's kind of a noir, but in color, right? Is it color?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. And so she kills people with an intention and with a purpose. And so she doesn't want to just kill everyone. And so she has to, I won't tell all the details, but she escapes her confinement, and she feels bad for the person that she has to hurt to get out of jail. So it's this weird, empathy of someone who is a serial killer.
Oh yeah, I get that. That sounds really interesting. The only thing I watched in French was besides French movies, God, I can't think of the name of Amelie or something cute.
Oh yeah.
Kind of cute. But I did watch kind of like the reality show crime shows as well, and I think I watched a French one where I think it was in English, but they talked about a French murder and this tag team of two, a man and a woman. There's a lot of that, actually. A man and a woman, the woman will lure a kid in or somebody in, and the man will kill them. There's a lot of that I've noticed, even in America's crime shows that are reality based or retelling of their story. But yeah, there was a French one where they talked about the back roads of a winery that they'd kill people on or something, and I was
oh my gosh, that's terrifying.
Blood Winery. It's already red, and now we're making it redder.
That sounds amazing. Yeah. I want to watch that.
I don't have a Netflix subscription at the moment, so I was trying to find it, and I don't know, I was gonna search for it, but I'm making notes as we're going here, so I can write a description of the podcast and making notes of the things that you're saying that are really
cool.
Intriguing.
Saved by a pedophile, stole snails from a river. Yeah, solid content.
So Swedish crime shows are great for physical. The physical acting, right? The physical. Oh yeah.
There's another one on PopTV, which I think you can watch for free online, or at least I watched it for free, called Swedish Dicks.
Oh, I saw that.
And it's about, yeah.
What is it about?
It's two Swedish detectives that solve crime. I don't know anything about PopTV. I don't know. It was they were advertising to me on Instagram, and I really like it. I think it's super funny. And they have their kind of assistant is a woman who used to live in North Korea. It's just really funny, really quirky.
I want to travel
and I
there.
love Swedish architecture and that very simple, dry, mid-century modern look that's very highbrow, and then these ridiculous people.
I want to go back to the French thing. Did you learn French in France?
Yeah, so I first lived abroad when I was 16, and I lived for a month in Paris over the summer studying French and living with a host family. And then at 17, I did the same thing except in Switzerland, in Lausanne, which is on Lake Geneva. And so basically my grandmother had lived abroad I also lived in Paris for a semester in college, went to the Sorbonne, and then I was a Fulbright scholar, and I lived in Luxembourg for 10 months, researching nation branding. So I've probably studied French for over 10 years, and I have like extensive experience abroad.
I just had 2 years in a high
French.
school class with like a teacher with bad coffee breath from Quebec leaning over me and accepting any homework I presented her, even though it wasn't the right homework. So I wanted to like go there. In my mind, I feel like I've traveled, like I've traveled around the US, but in my mind, like I feel more broad viewed of the world than I've actually traveled to. So what did your parents do for a living? I just want to know.
Oh, my mom is an artist and my dad worked in advertising. So what I did is like my grandmother traveled a lot. So she said that if I could raise enough money to pay for half of a program to go abroad, she would pay for the other half. So I worked as a waitress at weddings. I was like, would you like some dim sum? That person.
Dim sum,
And
so good.
I did that for like $10 an hour. And I did it every weekend and raised enough money to go abroad in the summers. So
you must have saved up like $500,000. Is that true? Like, how much did you save
it's
up
probably like
to travel?
$2,000. I don't know.
Okay. And then she was getting the other half of it. So did you join a program or just kind of went on your own or?
I went to, there's a school called Euro Centers, and they are language schools all over the world. So they will set you up with a host family, and so you get the host family and the tuition for the school. And so then you have housing and your education. And then it's like, it's pretty affordable. And so I lived with, I lived with French families and Swiss families, and so did my thing.
I'm so intimidated by you now. So as I read no, it's cool. Like I think I'm not really intimidated by a lot of people. Maybe like a big movie star, but I just think it's so cool when somebody is like, how old are you?
I am turning 30 this month.
Oh, I'm turning 34 this month. Okay, great.
Nice.
Yeah, I thought you were younger. So I was like, either way, I'm just like, damn, girl, that's amazing. I saw a photo. Well, we'll go into a news story in a second because you have like a good one. But I saw a photo on, I think it was Facebook, where it looked like you were traveling to Egypt because there's camels, or is that just like Death Valley with camels?
That was the Chapoteau Desert, which is near the Gobi Desert, but it's in Ningxia province in China. So I was traveling. I worked in the wine industry, and I had a wine dinner there where I was the sommelier at the dinner. Yeah. And so then the following weekend, I was like, I'm in nowhere, China. I need to do something cool. And so I rode the camels, and it was really, really fun.
Were there any pyramids in China? My dad's only been there. I haven't been there. To Shanghai and stuff. Are there any there's no pyramids, right? That's just Egypt.
That's just Egypt, yeah. But they have it's beautiful, just sand mountains, and it's just gorgeous. China's really amazing. There's so many different types of geography and stuff. It's a beautiful country when you get out of the polluted areas.
Yeah, Shanghai. My dad was saying Shanghai, they don't pay, it's polluted, but they don't pay attention to traffic lights, right? Like they're suggested or.
Yeah, traffic's pretty crazy. I would bike to work, and probably once a week, someone and I would two bikes would hit each other, and no one would get mad or anything, and just be like, "Welp," okay. And then you get back on your bike and keep going.
Oh, it's I have to go. I have to go somewhere.
Yeah.
I will go into a news story now. Then I'll continue asking about more comedy character and Netflix stuff. But so let's see. You brought up a news story. Mine are all just kind of I started doing the really serious news stories, but now I kind of do the fun ones that I find. So I might mention that. But what's your news story? Go ahead and bring it up right now.
Let's see. I love Michael Cohen, who I will call Michael Cocken for send dick pics. He found a hard drive this week that has incriminating information on our president. Great. And I just love that. I love the visual of I'm Michael Cohen. I'm going to Marie Kondo my apartment before I go to jail.
and I'm in my closet, and, you know, I'm making sure that my wife's not going to find my porn stash while I'm in jail. And there you go. Yeah. There's just a hard drive with information incriminating Donald Trump. Like, is just that he's going to say that and have people believe that he just stumbled on a hard drive. Like, no, dude, come on.
He's been wanting to, like, I feel like, do you think he's trying to just, like, yeah, he's probably trying to make sure he's free and clear when he's, like, locked away, possibly. And do you think he's also, is he getting locked away? Is he up for nomination for being locked away?
I think he is going to be locked away, but basically he's, like, trying to only be locked away in the state of New York and not be locked away federally. So I think he's trying to, like, I might be wrong, but I think that's what's going on. So he's like, I'm helping. And I think, you know, like, as part of your plea deal, if you help provide information on other people, then you're cooperating.
10 years, maybe.
In all the crime shows.
Maybe 10 years or something he'll be in.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty good. Go him. I mean, it's all just so crazy. Like, the whole, like, politically correct thing is insane. Like, I talked about, I think on my Facebook page, I called like, just the fact that I feel like Trump has made everyone, like, really politically correct. I read that in your article, and I totally agree. And I made a comment on Facebook about, like, I used the term blind as a bat, and someone, like, jumped on me for it. Like, they're like, how dare you? They were just, like, so offended, and they wrote this big paragraph. And I'm like, oh my God, like, you can't say anything.
Yeah. I'm doing, like, so this past month directed sketches that will be coming out this week, other TBD. But one of them's on Bernie Sanders. And so I put, like, I was researching ideas for it, and I was like, hey, what's the most ridiculous thing a Bernie bro's done? And, like, all of these dudes were like, Bernie bro is so sexist, like, you can't say Hillary ho, like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, it's the word bro. And, like, sorry, there is a demographic of, like, Bernie supporters, one, that are just ridiculous online. Like, they will just jump on anything one says.
Yeah,
and
do.
two, that are, like, a little sexist. There's a subgroup of Bernie supporters that are very, very
also
sexist.
incels?
And yeah. So it's just kind of ridiculous. Like, and I'm like, saying Hillary ho is different than Bernie bro. Bro and ho are different. Like, they rhyme, okay, but, like, what? It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's so sensitive. And my news story is, like, again, I was trying to bring something, like, fun, so I did, like, a less serious thing. The two stories I have are that, I didn't know this, but Adam Sandler is hosting SNL for the first time in May. Go him.
Oh, nice.
I thought
okay.
he maybe
yeah.
did, you know, even though he's been on there, but, like, as a cast member. And then Brie Larson has a directorial debut called The Unicorn Store, and it's streaming on Netflix, and I'm going to watch it because I like colorful things. So I'm hoping it's a unicorn store. Like, I don't know what it's about. It's about a struggling artist. Oh, here it is. It's about a struggling artist starring Brie Larson and Samuel L. Jackson, and has been up for a couple hours. So that's all I got. All right. I hope it's colorful. Maybe it's, like, really
and
dark.
She's directing it?
Yeah. It sounds
that's
so cool.
awesome.
Yeah. It might be really dark for all I know, but there's a gif of her jumping with, like, throwing glitter and stuff, so maybe not. I don't know. Maybe it's just to get us to watch, you know? Maybe it's like a murder plot, like the unicorn store. Like, you come to the unicorn, you're like, I want this person killed. And they're like, all right, I'd do it with my horn. What a fun murder plot.
That's so cool. I'm always excited to hear about more women directors, because only 4% of the top directors are women. Yeah. And that's insane to me.
Yeah. And I like it when women support other women and they're not, like, trying to, like, be the queen of women. You know, like, I feel like there's some extreme feminists who are, like, trying to be the queen of all women in their views, you know? And it doesn't really support, like, they kind of tell women what to do, and I'm like, that's not cool. I've run into those, like, online. And I'm like,
oh yeah. Well, like, and the politically correct thing, there's like there's very much like a judgment of like, oh, you think you're a feminist? Well, you use this one word.
Yeah,
and
right.
Using that word means that you are not a feminist. And it's like, hey, how about we judge me by my actions? And of course I should be accountable for my words, but educate me on it. Don't judge me. Judging me doesn't educate me. It's the same level. And that really frustrates me. And I don't think that helps progressive viewpoints in any way. And I think that like moral high ground issue hurts the progressive movement and the feminist movement. And it's extremely frustrating.
Or them telling you what to do. Like, I don't like that post, take it down. I'm like, what? This is how I feel about something. I'm not taking it down. I've had that happen. I'm just like, damn. And you want to stay away from them.
Yeah. There's just this like, and I think that is like that's not supporting women.
Yeah.
And the view of it is like, oh, because you're doing this, I'm better. But it's like that viewpoint is not supporting women.
No one's better.
Like, let's educate each other. Yeah.
No one's better. It's all just like your experiences. Man, it'd be weird if we all had the same experience. Like, how boring would that be? And we're all just like, yeah, this is how it is. We all have the same experience. These are the right words to use. Like, that'd be so boring. Nothing would get produced anyway.
It's also like, I come from a very conservative town. Like, I was taught views very progressive growing up. And so I, sometimes I use the wrong words or I say the wrong thing. And in general, I have pretty moderate views, and I try to be progressive and I try to learn. But, when people who are extreme come at me for using the wrong word or whatever and just to, like, judge me, it's like, hey, you're pushing away moderate people. And like, moderate people are the people that like might listen to you and maybe they'll change their views, or maybe it's okay that they have different views than you. But it always upsets me because, and I feel like it's stronger in LA than on the East Coast, is this like, oh, well, like, you're just not educated enough. And it's like, hey, I have a different experience and I'm not going to judge you for yours, and you shouldn't judge me for mine.
Also, how much can our brains take? Like, I'm in my 30s and my brain can't take, like, things I read, like, it gets so jumbled. Like, you take in a lot of information and you're like, okay, oh wait, this situation, how should I act? Oh wait, no, this situation, wait, how am I supposed to act? Like, what did I read? Oh my God, what was that thing I read? Like, every time I read something online, it just gets in my head, like, information overload, I guess. I've just noticed I feel that more and more. And it's like, we should judge people by how they act. Also, we should criticize people terrible things, definitely. But to like totally disregard someone because they used a word that is maybe not most sensitive, I think that's like a really bad thing for society. Yeah. And throughout the podcast, you're kind of cutting out a little bit. Sorry. Just want to let you know. But it's a lot of what you're saying is coming through. Don't worry.
Okay. I have the recording on my end too, so.
Okay. I wanted to talk about you. So you're in Chunky Zeta on Netflix. Is that something? Can you explain the plot for that?
Yeah, it's on Amazon Prime. And I'm in all of season 2. Oh, it's all good. And so the premise is it's these sorority girls who they believe that being sorority girls is the most important thing in the world. Above everything else. So it's like a dark comedy, and the producer, writer, actor in it is Bradley Lieberman, and so he plays the main character, and he's an older man who plays the main girl, Brenda, who's hot. In the world, she's the hottest girl on campus, but in reality, it's a man, right? So like a lot of the humor is like focused on this like weird dark world where, one of the sorority girls died, but like it doesn't matter because all they care about is how amazing their sorority is.
Oh wow, I like that. That's more of the dark comedy, right? Kind of dark comedy.
Yeah. It's very much like a city humor, and so it kind of like falls into that category of like joking about like like what is feminism, like what are the different views of feminism, and like what is an extreme view. Like one of the characters hates men, and so she says that like when her father held her, like when she was born, she just like crapped all over him.
Oh, already. Jeez. Like that soon.
Yeah, so it's like it's kind of making jokes about like a lot of kind of, we talked about the political correctness and people being completely politically incorrect, kind of like Veep.
Yeah. I like Veep.
It's so good. I love Veep.
And you love and Bradley wrote it, right?
Yeah, he wrote it. The head writer is Kristen Lucas, who is the other main character on the show.
Oh, okay.
So my goal is to be a writer, actor, director. And so it was an amazing project to be on. And I feel really lucky that I was a series regular on it because I'm learning from people who are already doing that. And so I get to see it in action, which is amazing. It was such an amazing experience.
Oh, and I was going to ask, what are your, you do a lot of characters. Is there a favorite one, like maybe a top 3 that you like to do in general? I think you, you play a character, or you play a character on the show, of course, but is there I see on Instagram, there's a lot of different characters. Is there a favorite one?
Yeah. I love doing RBG.
Say it one more time. Sorry. Say it one more time.
Yeah. I love doing RBG. She is a queen. I love her. I did some like Match.com characters where I watched, there's this like Match.com ad that, I just watched it and it was like so gold for comedy. It's like 3 people who are like, hi, I'm looking for nice guys, blah, blah, blah. So then I spliced in like a weird character. And so my favorite one is like, hi, I'm Gary. Wait, what is it? It's like, I've been a virgin for the past 26 years, but I've read 3 books on how to give cunnilingus.
Yeah.
I just love the
it's more
idea of
relatable.
like,
it's way more relatable. There's people out there like that.
Yeah, like, I mean, there's so many weird people on dating apps. And so it's just, I watched this Match ad and like, even the people on the Match ad, it's like what they think people want. Like it's a girl playing a ukulele. And like in real life, do you want to date the girl who plays a ukulele?
She's too good for you.
Again, everyone's their own thing.
She's too perfect, okay? Like the girl with the nice makeup or I don't know. The guy with the nice car, like way too perfect. Just... can't relate. They'll probably try to buy your love anyway, like that's not fun. Do you have a I loved I did watch a sketch where like I think you wrote it and were in it, but it was a political sketch. I don't remember what it was about, but it was about Trump. And I saw like photos of you because I've been researching you just off and on passively for the past whenever I started following you. So like not knowingly, just like, oh, what's this, and I think it was a political sketch. It was really good, and I'm sorry I didn't like rewatch it to prepare to talk about it. But
it's okay.
Do you remember it? Maybe there's a few.
So it was my first thing that I wrote and directed. And it's called the People's Republic of America. Yeah. And so I actually have visited North Korea. I visited the year before Otto was taken, and now he's dead. So I took my experience being in North Korea, and this one's like, it's like on the line of satire versus just dark. And so I wrote it, I directed it, and I act in the end as like the kind of like pro-Trump character. Yeah. And it's basically like a fake political horror ad. And it follows a Hispanic girl through her day in a Trump dictatorship.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. So I took like the principles and iconography of the North Korean dictatorship that I experienced firsthand. And then I applied those onto if we had like an alt-right future alternative Trump-led America. Oh, so it's terrifying.
Yeah, no, it was so good. And what's weird is I almost got to travel to North Korea before Trump went over there, before the Otto thing. But for some reason, I didn't know if you traveled there. I was going to ask, like, one of my questions was going to be, what place have you not traveled that you want to travel to still? But I think most people would say North Korea, or something, or Antarctica. Yeah, I like passively, like subconsciously pegged you for someone who's already been to North Korea. It's so weird that you mentioned that. So like, I'm like, she's probably already been there. But then I'm like, maybe that's one of the places she wants to travel. So did you, I've seen photos. Were there any like, I don't know, maybe you can't say anything I haven't like seen in a documentary on YouTube about it, but did you see Otto? Can you just tell me anything about North Korea that you thought was crazy?
So I stayed in the same hotel that Otto stayed in, where he took the poster, which ended with him being sentenced to 15 years in an internment camp and then being killed in captivity. So I think like you can't, the hotel's on an island and you can't leave the island. And he's a college student. I have a bachelor's in international affairs. I've lived in China for 3.5 years. I'm a Fulbright scholar. Like, I've studied it. And so when I decided to go there, I was like very careful about what I was doing, because I knew that if they needed someone for political negotiations as an American there, who also just looks like a girl who might go missing in Aruba, they're going to take me. I'm going to be taken. So I was just very careful my whole experience there. But like my roommate in the hotel was a German girl. And at the end of our trip, she took the calendar off the wall in our hotel room.
Oh my God.
But she's German, they're not going to go after her. So, but the scariest part was that they don't have access to internet. So it was, for 25 kilobytes in our hotel, it was $4. So opening your Gmail would be like $100. I don't know.
So
I don't know.
You don't bring your own phone. You bring a burner phone, right? You would never bring your own phone in case they confiscate it and look at things, or is that true? Or did you bring your own phone?
I brought my own phone, but so basically the tour guides thought that I was a spy because I'm American. So they would consistently, and I was careful, but I'm a very curious person. So every time that the bus would stop, I would walk as far as I was allowed to walk. And then the guide would come over and be like, give me your phone. And they take my phone and they like delete pictures.
Sorry. Oh, so you'd walk a few feet away. Sorry, it cut out a lot. You walked a few feet and took a photo, or?
Yeah, like wherever we'd stop, I would just go to I'm allowed to go. I'm a person. Think that I'm a spy sent by the American government. Yeah. So they would take my phone and check, and like they'd always delete pictures if there were pictures of the military.
Oh, or a poor person, or like a farm, right? Or like somebody disheveled, right? They didn't want any like imperfect photos taken. Is that right?
Yeah, everything was extremely controlled.
Yeah. And
the first day, it was kind of like, at the end of the day, you're kind of like, oh wow, they really take care of their people. But it's not real. Like,
no.
you'll see like someone sitting in the rice field and they're smiling, and you're like, doesn't look like they're working. Like, they look pretty happy. And then you find out that everyone's worked for the military for 10 years in case the U.S. attacks them. But while they're doing their military service, they're working in the rice fields like 14-hour days. And at times their children are kept in group homes that they only see on the weekends. And then you're like, wow, that's terrible.
And they're given like a bag of soybeans for the week, and then like 1 ounce of meat, and like that's all they get, I think. I don't know if that's true.
Yeah. Not exactly, but there's extreme poverty.
Yeah. And if you try to escape,
yeah, they literally kill you, and they put your entire family into an internment camp.
Oh, and then that's like working, right? They work for the rest of their lives, like hard labor.
Yep. And that's like your family has happened to them because of your decision for a better life for you.
And then also,
it's really,
if you want to travel on a bus, you have to like let them know like weeks in advance and get a special permission or something.
I don't know the details on that, but I do know like when they do have certain students that they allow to study outside of North Korea, and those students live on campus with each other, and they are like completely controlled. Like, they can't just walk around whatever country they're in. They have to travel as a group. They have like a guy that stays with them, groceries or whatever purchased for them. It's like very controlled. So if they do leave the country, they have no freedom outside, even though they're being educated. And that was also one of the worst things that I saw, is that we went to a university and all of the students in the university didn't have laptops. They just were writing in paper notebooks.
That's just so 1990s. That is terrible. But no, yeah, there's no.
And so, like, yeah, you're like, how do you have a country that's, you know, like a small group of people in power has put it where, like, your children in that country grow up without internet.
Like, are they even learning? I know they would they would, if you had a TV or had VHS or DVDs like that were smuggled in, they would like watch under a blanket at night, like right on the TV, and you can get in a lot of trouble if you have that.
Yeah, they watch a lot of movies. I think one of the guys was trying to get movies from us. Like, he wanted a USB so he could watch movies.
Oh yeah.
You know, he has like a flip phone.
Oh man, it's cutting out a lot. It's cutting out a lot suddenly.
I started recording when you said that you started recording, so when I send you my recording, it'll line up to your recording, if that helps with editing.
Ooh, it might. But I have like your voice coming through and my voice, so I don't know if it'll. But I think I get the gist of everything. I'm kind of just like relaying what I think you're saying, I guess, or like, and I don't know.
Do you want me to go to the other room? Then I'll have to use my phones instead of my.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. I just don't want like a lot of it cut off, of course. But let's see if there's any other questions I was gonna ask. Yeah, I could just talk about this forever, of course. Or what are you doing for your birthday?
I'm not a birthday person. I know that some people are huge birthday people. I'm not that person. But I'm in an all women's improv team or sketch at UCB, Upright Citizens Brigade. We have a monthly show. So we're going to have our monthly show and then have everyone for drinks afterwards.
Oh, cool. And I think I saw it on is it Night Pants?
Night Pants is my digital sketch group. So I'm in the leadership team at Night Pants, and Night Pants has 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, and is known for, we've won a lot of awards for very like pro women content and
that's so cool.
Being very progressive. And then Pinup Squirrels is my sketch and improv team that has a monthly show at Upright Citizens Brigade.
Oh, that's awesome. Did you, so I'm just notating that, Pinup Squirrels. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you take any classes at UCB? Because I couldn't decide like what place I wanted to. Well, I like all the theaters, but do you take any classes there, or just like that's where you're performing?
Yeah, I've taken all of improv there. I've taken sketch, storytelling, and character there.
Oh man.
I love it. I love their theory on what makes things funny. Like I've like trained in improv in China at a school there that was more the IO style, and I definitely prefer the UCB style or like theory of how to make something funny.
And is it like, I read that book they have, but is it like mostly the game, finding the game, or is that not everything?
No, that's pretty much it.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
I love that. And then kind of latching onto it and then just like moving on or finding another one. I don't know.
Yeah.
Man, I love the character work so much. I was going to ask if you, I usually do a celebrity voice for like the intro to the podcast. I don't know if you want to do one. I could have you send a recording over of, you just say like, hey, like this is please send dick pics. And you do the character, do whatever you want for like 30 seconds or something.
Okay. What kind of character would you be thinking about?
I'm open to anything. The intro's been like Judy Garland, Liza Minnelli, a made-up character who wears braces, whatever their shtick is. Gilbert Gottfried I've done. Whatever you want. Like it could be one of your characters that you do in general.
I could do Lana Del Rey, maybe.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, cool.
Okay, cool. I'll think of it after the call and send you.
Do you have any shows coming up or anything that you want to mention? I'll post this in about a week.
Okay, cool. I have 2 sketches that I wrote, acted, and directed coming out. One is called The Tax Man, which is about a modern day tax collector, which will be coming out this week. So it'll have just come out. So I have that coming out, and then I have one Bernie Bro intervention, which will be coming out soon.
Oh, so cool.
Which is like a mock of the show Intervention. Except the person's addiction is talking about Bernie Sanders.
That's so cool.
And so I'm trying to get more into writing, acting, directing, and both of those I played like a minor role, and then I wrote them and I direct them. So it's been really fun getting into that space and being more directing side of things, and experiencing like bringing a whole project that I thought of in my mind together with amazing people, because the success of it. It's been cool because I worked as a marketing manager and in marketing for years before I went into comedy, and directing. I feel like I use a lot of the same skills of trying to motivate people, trying to bring out people's best ability to do their talent, and giving people the freedom to really go into their space of what they're good at and feel confident in it. And so it's very similar to kind of some of the business skills I have. And so I've just loved doing that.
Man, you're amazing. So, I forgot to go over the celebrity dick. I'm sorry. I guess I know we're like coming up. I'm just, coming up on the end here, but I could talk forever with you about anything. I guess I was gonna have you guess my celebrity dick of the week if you want.
Okay.
It should be easy. So I don't usually, just a warning, I don't repeat like any celebrity dick that's been, or like their name that's been mentioned on the podcast. So I have to come up with like new ones that like a new perspective on them. So the one I chose is, he doesn't have Dick in his name, doesn't have Woodrow, like the examples I sent you.
Okay.
So just a warning, but it is a male, and I'm going to say, this might give him away. I'm hoping it does. He was, I think, the main character in To Kill a Mockingbird from, and again, his name has like an innuendo to like a dick. It's not like Dick. I mean, you can even look it up if you want, but it's
yeah, I'm not sure. I'm terrible with names as well.
That's okay. It's definitely an old person who's dead. First name is Gregory. He's in
I'm so bad with names.
Okay. It's all right. His last name is kind of like
Atticus.
Oh yeah, he played Atticus Finch, in 1962 to Kill a Mockingbird. But his last name is like Woody Woodpecker, like it has part of that name in there.
Okay.
So Gregory, not Woody, but the other name, Gregory.
Peck,
yes.
Okay.
I like old actors. Like, I'm into that. Like, if they're dead, I just love doing an impression of them or something, or like learning about them. And if they got murdered, all the better. Just kidding. If they had like addiction, all the better. So yeah, I'm glad you got that. That's great. But he's been in other things, like so many other things. I don't really know much more about him, but I thought that'd be a good one. So
nice.
That's as deep as it went. Is there anything else that, what's like the weirdest advice you've gotten? We can end on that. Like, what's some weird advice you got, or maybe some bad advice you've gotten or that you've given, and you're like, wait, maybe that was weird advice for comedy.
I had one guy who was like, oh my God, you speak Chinese. You should fully specialize your entire acting career on being a white girl that speaks Chinese. And I was like, cool, but okay, maybe you as an actor in LA haven't met a lot of people who speak Chinese, but I, as someone who's lived abroad, have met a significant number of people who speak Chinese. And I'm sure there's jobs out there for that, but it's maybe not what I want to do. And maybe I want to do, it was just it's you should find this really small niche and then devote your whole life to that tiny niche. And I was like, I don't know. My life's always been I'm very much a generalist. I'm not a specialist in anything. Like, I've done so many different things, and the idea of being a specialist just basically terrifies me. And I'm like, no, that's not like how I've done things in my life.
You might as well work at a call center in San Francisco if you're going to do that. So,
yeah.
Like, you speak English and Chinese, you're hired. We need that. For this tech company. But no, I mean, I kind of get it. Like, I feel like I like general things too. I don't want to be like confined into one thing, but I mean, sometimes those people who like specialize in one thing like take off and then they can't get out of it. Maybe, but
yeah. Oh no, like there's definitely like being a specialist is definitely a great career opportunity. Usually, that's never what I've done. I mean, I've like changed my career path so many times, and I feel like having skills in so many different things enables me to do that. Where if I had skills in only one thing, I would have never been able to pull that off.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah,
but I think specialists in general make more money. Have very clear linear career paths.
And I'm slightly
both
jealous
of which are
of
great.
Them. I'm slightly jealous of them. Yes. I'm just like, damn.
Like career they have that I don't have.
Say that one more time. I'm sorry.
I was saying like they have job security at a level that like we should all wish we had.
But they must be so bored, right? If they're just doing that character all the time. Oh man, I don't know.
We'll do it.
Maybe not. Like those Game of Thrones people, they are stuck in medieval times. Like every character they play is just going to be a queen or like I don't know, like the queen of the mother of dragon just has. Well, she's in other roles, but I feel like always a blonde wig for her forever. Always a dragon on her shoulder forever. Everything she does. How great is that though? Anyways. Well, it was really awesome talking with you. I hope to like meet you. I had planned to move to LA at some point and I didn't yet, but man.
Let's grab coffee or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I would love to meet you, of course. And just whatever happens as far as whatever comes out of us, characters, that'd be fun. I don't know.
Yeah, love it.
Well, everybody, our email is please send dickpics@gmail.com. And remember to please send dick pics. Awesome. Bye, guys.